What is up, everyone? What is up? Happy Monday. What's everyone up to? I completely forgot last night was the first night of Channukah, too. It's okay. It's not really a major holiday for us. It's just kind of like, you know how you find out about it? Your relatives tell you about it, and then you're just like, yeah. What'd you say? Time to cancel the fan? Oh, yeah, Wolfenstein. WTF is with the RAM prices. Well, first, let me put on my Channukah hat here. It's not fit right. It doesn't fit right with the headphone. Okay, I gotta put it on backwards to fit better, apparently. Yeah, it'll do. So, RAM prices are kind of effed up right now. I gotta, hold on, tilt that back. Can that fit over the Pikachu? No, it cannot. So you get this today. Turn it around, show the star. Well, for some reason, it would only fit backwards. So, let's see. Okay. WTF is with the RAM prices. So basically, it's good old-fashioned supply and demand. There is a finite supply that is actually available for us to buy of RAM. And the supply is being strained right now because all the enterprise data centers are gobbling up all the DRAM chips for their AI systems. Primarily DDR5 and GDDR7, which are kind of similar and work a lot in the same fabs. I'm not happy with AI farms either because this is the latest bubble. It's a bubble. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a bubble. And the circular money scheme around it is just so bad. It's going to crash. And here's the bad thing. If and when it crashes, well, more like when it crashes, it's going to really hurt the American economy. Because the one flawed metric that we use in America is we look at the stock market to determine the health of the economy, when that's merely one metric. But it's a flawed perspective to only look at the economy through the stock market value lens. You have to do it in the totality. You have to look at the unemployment index, specifically the U6, not the U3 index. A lot of people are using the U3 index, which is the traditional unemployment. But the problem with that number is it counts you as employed with as little as 1 hour of work per week. The U6 index also counts underemployment, those working part-time that wish to be full-time. So that is a better metric on top of the stock market, on top of GDP growth, and on top of looking at the import and export. You need to look at the holistic picture. The problem with looking at the stock market only as, you know, hey, the stock market's going up, so the American economy is going great, is when you dig into it, the primary driver right now is the AI bubble. So when that crashes, it's going to hurt a lot of businesses. It's going to tank a lot of their values, things like that. But Micron has also decided they're going to pull out of the market. There's effectively only 3 DRAM manufacturers in the world: Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. Micron owns Crucial. Micron said they're no longer going to be selling to the consumer space for SSDs and DRAM. Effectively meaning we now have 2 producers. Both not in the USA. Both are in South Korea. So you've effectively removed 1/3 of the entire production of DRAM in the world. That's the long and short of it. And that's not, oh, there were 3 companies. No, they were 3 companies that had 90% or 95% of all manufacturing across the entire globe of DRAM. People do not realize how fragile and lean the chip manufacturing supply line is. Dude, nobody's talking about Israel here. We're talking about DRAM and stuff. I went in and set my direct deposit to only go to my Discover savings account. No more using shitty credit unions since I cannot help or innovate. Well, it depends on what credit union you go. too. Do you think that Gen 2 is overkill for a desktop usage? I don't really see the point in using Gen 2 these days. Because the problem is you're always going to really have to compile from source to get the advantage of it. And, yeah, so I don't really see the point in using Gen 2. It's a lot more involved, and look, at the end of the day, you want to use your computer. You don't want to mess with your computer. Menorah type shit. Well, it is that time of the year. Let me get my, merged chat over here. What's up, Vampire? What's the best gaming creative laptop I should buy, like you're feeling like a tight budget, for example? Well, if you're on a tight budget, you're really constrained, period, but you're probably going to want to get a laptop with an AMD Ryzen. I've actually really loved the Ryzen CPU line in laptops. They can do pretty well. I used to do, like, Borderlands 3 and stuff on them. No problem. Dell, Lenovo, and HP for the mainstreams, but System 76 Pangolin is a pretty solid one. They're a little bit more expensive, but I like System 76. I have one of their older Pangolins. Yeah. I would just look for something that all around has an AMD Ryzen. I know everybody's like NVIDIA GPU, but if you get an AMD GPU, it's a good CPU GPU combo to do a lot of, you know, all around things. I still have my old Pangolin with the 5700U, AMD Ryzen 7, I think it is. It's still a decent laptop. I still love it. In fact, my Tuxedo laptop I have down here has an NVIDIA 4070 in here, but most of the time I'm using the Ryzen CPU in here without the GPU enabled. Very seldomly do I actually enable the NVIDIA GPU on here, even when I'm rendering videos. It's great. So yeah. You have a Serval workstation? Yeah, they make great stuff. Pre-builts haven't risen in prices in some shops. They will eventually. Pre-builts generally have a bit of a buffer because they tend to buy a lot of their parts and stockpile them and build off of those. So you're probably going to have a lag time of 3 to 6 months until you start seeing the effects. They're saying right now GPU prices will start climbing up after the holidays, probably around February, March. So we'll start feeling the crunch, and the part that sucks is they won't be able to ramp up proper supply until 2028 is what I think they said. Oh yeah, you got the dog. Boy or girl dog? Give the dog the name? Oh, her. Okay. How old's the dog? So we're gonna jump right into the reacting content and stuff, because we got stuff to review on stream, because tonight is a special night, and tonight's a night like no other, where we play Wolfenstein and kill Yahtzees. Thank you, TikTok, for making me have to censor myself. It's the yearly tradition for those of you that haven't been following my stream. I've been doing this every year around this time of year. I just joined. Someone to explain the hat, please. What's going on? Well, it's Channukah. Are you Jewish? No, I just have a Star of David tattoo on my arm for no reason. Yes. I was thinking of switching jobs from pharmacy to IT. Would you recommend I do? Pharmacy, just like IT, is a field that requires continuing education, but I will be honest and say pharmacy is a good paying job. It really depends. Like, the one thing you'll have to understand is, and I think pharmacists have to do this too, is you're going to have to study and keep up on your career outside of work as well. That's a personal, decision. Thought it's 12 candles. No, it's 8. Well, 9 technically. Like for a cert, well, there's a lot of different certs. If you're just going to IT, there's like, was it CompTIA A+, Linux Plus, Network Plus. You can even get Security Plus. But yeah. What's up, Hans? How's it going, bud? But yeah, there's quite a few different ways you can slice this. I didn't get my first cert until last year, and it's a CISSP. Although chances are I probably will be getting a boatload of certs over the next few months because I'm going back to college, and that's one of the things they include with it is a bunch of vouchers for different tests. So that'll be kind of funny. Yeah, I got my A+ after I got my CISSP. Wait, isn't that the one that everyone wants to get after they've been in for 5 years? Yup. Why'd you get it? I was bored. Probably what's going to end up happening. So anyway, let's get into the content. Where was I last night? Shalomi, homie. God, I should mark these things better, but I did. Okay, here we are. So, I think we were at this video. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna... The format tonight's gonna be just a little bit different. So... Because we're gonna be ending the stream with Wolfenstein. As the yearly tradition goes. You gotta kill Nazis on this night. Are you watching YouTube videos tonight? Yes, we are. We're starting out with that. So, we've got this video over here, and we'll probably watch videos for about an hour or so, and then hour and a half. Then we're going to switch over into Wolfenstein and avenge my people. Killing my family is the yearly tradition. The official Chief Geek 3D Minecraft server will be launched in 2026. Is that what you're saying? Are you hosting it? Alright. Let me make sure the audio is working over here. Give me 1 second to do the test.
Front, left.
Okay, we're good. It's a little loud on my end, though. Alright, so we got Valve is making Microsoft work. This is from Water CS2. This was a few days ago. It came up on my feed, and I was like, let's watch what this is about. I think I only watched, like, maybe 30 seconds or so before I was like, yeah, I should probably watch this on stream. So, kill the background music. And let's go.
Microsoft is promising to focus on performance fundamentals for PC gaming on Windows 11. They specifically
it's only taken them, what, 10 years to actually do that?
Management, power and scheduling improvements, and graphic stack optimization.
So all the things Linux has been working on for like the past 15 years?
Jargon, a vague promise to do better. But if you have been watching the PC gaming landscape, you know what this really is. This is a direct defensive reaction to the biggest competitive threat.
Is that Half-Life?
Faced since the 90s, Valve's SteamOS, and the rise of Linux gaming. For years, Microsoft was complacent. Why shouldn't they be? Windows has been the undisputed king of PC gaming, and
yeah, they've totally been complacent. That's why they just kept shoving things in.
Of the market. But the new information, the new benchmarks, and
graphics peaked around the Wolfenstein era. It was the perfect mix of fake and real. Oh, I agree.
The foundation of their dominance is starting to crack. This announcement is Microsoft finally admitting that Valve, through Steam hardware and the rising Linux gaming ecosystem, is forcing them to do their work. The biggest pressure point for Windows at the moment is the portable gaming market. When Valve launched the Steam Deck, it didn't just sell a console.
So the interesting thing is, this would not be the first market that Microsoft loses when they had a potential to actually win. So I'm referring back to the Windows Phone market. Back in the day, Windows phones, they tried to do Windows Mobile. It was a thing. You used to get like Windows for Palm Pilots and stuff like that. And it was a decent little thing, but they never really could make a competitor with the momentum to beat Apple's iPhone. Just like the Zune was a little too late, even though I will concede out the box the Zune had better hardware than an iPod. The problem was it was too little too late, and the experience wasn't as polished as the Apple ecosystem was. And I feel like Valve is about to repeat that entire idea with the handheld market, because we're already seeing situations where the Lenovo, was it the Legion Go or that? It's a device that literally can run both Windows and Linux on the same device, and you're seeing people have like major performance differences in gaming, that Linux is actually performing better than Windows in a lot of games by like 10, 15, sometimes what I've even seen 20 frames per second. And Microsoft has been too complacent because they've been too big. They don't want to react. And what's unfortunate is Microsoft actually, back in the day with the launch of the original Xbox, was the console that shook things up, because they forced Nintendo and PlayStation, Sony, to up their games respectively, because, well, if the original Xbox, you had Halo, Master Chief, you had, all these different game titles that came out and challenged the way people, thought of different games. We had the Gears of War saga, things like that. Love the Zune. I never bought an iPod because I had a Zune and just went back to CDs after that. I like the iPod better, but I would mod my iPods. I think PCs are going to get more expensive next year. Yep, I've been saying that. That's why I've been buying all of my hardware now. But to the point of the person that's like, Wolfenstein 2 era had the best graphics, I find it interesting that my 3070 over here can play Wolfenstein amazingly well at max settings, but then I can't play Borderlands 4 at even low settings without DLSS to do frame generation to get it to 30 frames.
The complete optimized operating system, SteamOS, and passed head-to-head tests on identical third-party hardware.
Okay, so he's talking about the thing I talked about.
Weakness. Take the Lenovo Legion Go S, a device with an official driver support for both operating systems. Benchmarks from outlets like Dave2D and Ars Technica.
Okay, look at this. So SteamOS is the orange. Green is the Lenovo device, and red is the Windows 11 with Asus drivers. Okay. So, wow. Returnal, look at that. You're getting like almost double the performance of the Lenovo drivers, 25% more there. Now in Borderlands 3, the Asus drivers just edged it out by 7%, 0.2%, but that's a margin of error relatively. But in Cyberpunk, it's beating both of them. In Homeworld 3, it's beating both of them. In Doom the Dark Ages, I guess the Windows 11 Lenovo drivers wouldn't work there, but it's beating it.
In tests designed for an apples-to-apples comparison, showed Steam.
Well, did they have two charts? Oh.
And Ars Technica in test.
Okay, so that's low. That was high graphics. This is low. Even on low, that's bad. Like, the only game that they're, like, really close on is Borderlands and Homeworld 3.
Designed for
Borderlands 3 to be specific.
Showed SteamOS slaughtering Windows 11 in efficiency and frame rates on these low TDP devices. In games like Cyberpunk 2077, SteamOS delivered 59 FPS, where Windows lagged behind at 46 FPS.
That's a noticeable drop.
The gap was 76 FPS versus 66 FPS. This performance
I haven't played Witcher 3 in years.
Windows is a resource hog. SteamOS, being a specialized, minimalist Linux distribution, cuts all that out. It runs only what is needed, freeing up precious CPU cycles and battery power.
I mean, you could say that for a lot of Linux distributions, but yeah.
Which the most damning point of all is the battery life. On 2D indie titles, the Legion Go S with SteamOS lasted over 6 hours, while the same device running Windows died after 2 hours and 45 minutes.
You get almost more than double the battery life on Linux on the same device. Wow. That's wild. Like, that just shows you just how bad Windows is.
If you remember when we covered this data a few months ago when it actually came out, there was word
that is
Windows
Half-Life.
was aware that SteamOS was performing better on this hardware, which led to meetings so they could address this issue and improve Windows to not lose to SteamOS by focusing on their own handheld experience. So when we look at this new Microsoft announcement, it is a list of direct countermeasures to the SteamOS effect. Every vague promise they give is a hidden acknowledgement of the Linux advantage. Background workload management. This is the anti-bloatware promise. Microsoft is admitting they have too much running. They are forced to build a priority system to ensure Windows updates, Copilot, Edge, and all the telemetry finally get out of the way when you launch a game. Power and
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen because that's gonna get away in their profit motive.
Massive battery life advantage and the instant suspend and resume feature that is flawless on the Steam Deck and SteamOS devices, but are slow or unreliable on Windows. Graphics stack optimizations and updated drivers. This is a long overdue response to the instability and driver conflicts plaguing Windows handhelds. Microsoft is trying to regain control over the graphics ecosystem, which ironically Valve has been improving for everyone through its development of DXVK and VKD 3D.
And what's so effed about that is DirectX was Microsoft's innovation. Microsoft, to give them credit, did a great job of creating a graphics API that, would allow easier development for games. And now it's better to build your game to run on Linux through Proton than it is to directly run through a Windows box.
Which translate DirectX calls to the highly efficient Vulkan API that Valve has been funding. Valve's success is forcing Microsoft to do the hard work of...
Even AMD and Nvidia both a few years ago said they'd rather people develop for Vulkan than DirectX.
To their dominance. So even if you don't plan on using SteamOS yourself, Valve is forcing Microsoft's hand to improve Windows. But there is actually one thing we need to clear up. The narrative of SteamOS is faster isn't actually the whole story, and is very nuanced, being
Your thoughts on Mac OS?
Tests that were designed to work.
Apple's lost its way over the past few years.
When looking at the data, Windows actually still holds the performance lead on one crucial piece.
They're very behind in a lot of features
with dedicated GPUs. Recent extensive testing, particularly from Ars Technica, showed that the moment you move to a powerful discrete graphics card, the situation reverses. In games like Borderlands 3, Windows consistently performs 20 to 30% better across a wide range of dedicated GPUs. In demanding titles with ray tracing enabled, like Forza Horizon 5 and Cyberpunk 2077, Windows can show a consistent 15 to 20% performance lead, especially...
To be fair here, Nvidia has acknowledged they haven't given the Linux stack a lot of love like they should, which is why they're actually working harder on releasing more performant Linux drivers, especially because a lot of people are using NVIDIA GPUs in the data center now. So, yeah, this is going to improve over time. Like, I noticed a nice bump when I went to the NVIDIA 580 Open drivers on my AI box. Yep, hugs me to you too, Wandering Pickle.
On 16GB GPUs. This shows that while SteamOS wins on efficiency, Windows still manages raw graphical muscle better. However, Valve is quickly closing this gap with their continuous updates to improve the operating system. So this is the battlefield Microsoft is trying to defend.
Well, it's not really the operating system so much as what's underneath the operating system,
making the jump
or above it.
Once SteamOS is better on any other piece of hardware, Windows dominance among gamers will start to crack. In some tests where they had ray tracing off, occasionally SteamOS would come out ahead. But the greatest threat to Windows isn't just Linux on x86. It's Valve's long-term play to free Steam from the x86 architecture entirely, and this is where their work on ARM chips come in. We recently learned that Valve has been quietly funding the development of the FEX emulator for almost a decade.
Yeah, this was big news. We talked about that recently too.
Allows x86 Windows games to run on ARM ARM-based Linux devices. This is the core of Valve's newly announced Steam Frame headset. Now you might wonder, why is this terrifying for Microsoft? And well, ARM chips are the most power efficient on the planet. Valve's work paves the way for a future ultra-portable Steam Deck 2, or
although I'd like to see Risk 5 take over a little bit more.
Even the current Steam Deck can't touch. Valve's work on cross-architecture compatibility also feeds into the viability of gaming on Apple Silicon Macs. For years, Mac...
Not really. So the Mac argument isn't just as simple as, oh, if we get it to work on ARM, it'll work on Mac. People forget that Mac OS does not use Vulkan in a traditional way. They use, Metal API. Let me see. Mac OS Metal API. So they use this thing here called Metal. That's where they really wanted to put in their power. So the problem is, I don't know if Vulkan works that well on Mac. Let me see. Vulkan and Mac. So there is an SDK for Vulkan on Mac. The problem is I don't know if there's much development work going on it. So it's not as simple as, hey, we can get this working on a Mac. There's a few more layers that go into, an operating system for gaming than just, oh, it'll work on ARM. If you're talking about Windows and Linux, well, with Proton, they both can work on DirectX, and then DirectX just gets translated into Linux version of Vulkan calls, and in the case of Windows games that are, running Vulkan, it just translates to Linux calls in Vulkan. So, is SteamOS its own operating system or something else? Well, SteamOS is a Linux distribution they've released.
Struggled due to Apple's proprietary graphics API, Metal, and its move to ARM chips. Apple's own game...
I keep talking about things before they actually do in the video.
Porting toolkit has opened the door a bit, but Valve's technology, including its past work on Molten VK, makes it easier for the Steam library to run on Mac. If Valve can make the Steam library available on highly efficient non-Windows laptops, the reason for choosing a Windows PC for gaming diminishes for a massive segment of the market. And this would all be possible with Valve's funded Vex emulator, which many programs seem to already be using. Valve's strategy...
I'd take that with a grain of salt. Here's the reason why. Can any of you, have you actually used a Mac? Can you imagine gaming on a Mac with that keyboard and stuff they have? No. You're going to end up getting basically a regular gamer keyboard and a proper gamer mouse to do gaming on a Mac in the traditional sense. The Mac ecosystem is just not built for Mac, the official Mac ecosystem. Their hardware is just not built for gamers. Not only that, I don't see how one could actually use a MacBook for long periods of time for gaming, because most of those Macs, unless you get the Pro, have a fan. And that's really the only difference between the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro is a fan. They use the same CPU. Same thing with the Mac Pro workstations, too.
Is simple. Make the hardware irrelevant. Whether you have an AMD x86 chip, an ARM Snapdragon, or an Apple M series chip, Valve is building the translation layers to make your entire Steam library work, turning Windows into just one compatible launcher among many. And recent data reinforces that threat. Linux has finally crossed the symbolic threshold of 3% market share on the Steam hardware survey.
Yeah, there's more gamers on Linux than Mac.
Only 1% or less.
We talked about this
years ago. What was once a niche
I used to play
obvious
War
OS
Thunder minimum
is now a
graphics
legitimate
720p
growing
on MacBook
platform
Pro in
thanks almost
2017.
entirely to Valve and other gaming distros. The only thing
But was that
keeping
before
Windows
the
firmly
butterfly
in place
switches
is
or
its superior
after?
compatibility, specifically for key demographics. For example, games like Valorant or Fortnite use kernel-level anti-cheat software that is deliberately designed not to work on SteamOS or Proton. This is Valve's biggest hurdle at the moment, and it's the wall that still protects Windows' most aggressive user base. And it seems like Microsoft knows they can't just fix performance, it has to fix the user experience. The announcement shares two other major initiatives that directly copy Valve's homework.
So on the kernel level, anti-cheat that they talked about, we talked about how ByteDance and another company, yes, ByteDance, the maker of TikTok, they actually are proposing what's called a multi-kernel approach. So there is the potential that down the line, you could actually, instead of, talking about the whole idea of virtualizing Windows to be able to play your game, you could have a kernel-level anti-cheat potentially on a version of the kernel that you spin up while gaming. You tell it to only have these amount of resources, and you have your regular kernel handling all your other system stuff, and then this Linux kernel over here is accessing just these system resources and running a kernel-level anti-cheat, and then when the game's over, that kernel shuts down and you're just using the rest of the system. So there is that idea already out there. It's not officially built out. It's going to take time to mature, but that is a possibility. But even then, kernel-level anti-cheat is just a horrible idea to begin with. It's a solution that makes more problems than it solves.
Xbox Full Screen Experience, or FSE. This is Windows' version of SteamOS's Game Mode, or Big Picture Mode, a controller-first console-like interface designed to get you into games.
Yeah, the problem is Microsoft tried that with Windows 8 and it was shit.
ASD. This is a collaboration with AMD to deliver pre-compiled shaders at install time, directly addressing the stuttering issue that has plagued Windows gaming for years, a problem Steam solved long ago with pre-caching. Ultimately, the announcement that Microsoft is focusing on performance fundamentals is not really a sign of innovation, but a sign of competitive pressure. Valve, a company led by former Microsoft employees, realized a decade ago that the generic bloated Windows OS was a catastrophe for PC gaming. They spent the time building an alternative, and its success, from the efficiency of the Steam Deck to the stability of the Linux gaming ecosystem, has exposed the rot at the core of Windows. Microsoft is now being forced to reverse the course, de-bloat its OS, fix its power management, and strip away years of legacy unwanted features just to compete with a Linux variant. And this is the Valve effect in action. Steam is forcing the entire PC gaming industry to be better.
Can't even buy a Steam Deck in Anguilla.
Situation. The console wars may be over, but the operating system wars seem to just be starting. And we are the ones to gain from Microsoft being forced to work harder than they have in 2 decades. Valve reinforced that they plan to release SteamOS as a desktop option officially, but realized there is still a lot of work to do, so we shouldn't expect it soon. But with new hardware like the Steam Machine coming in 2026, it seems like Windows use among gamers will continue to decrease. Is Windows finally going to become the home of gaming it claims to be, or is this just an attack in a long, drawn-out battle against an increasingly viable SteamOS? If you enjoyed, like this.
I think it's not really going to be a situation where Microsoft is going to reclaim their crown. You can say that I'm biased here, but the reality is Microsoft is a big monolithic beast, and they're not known for removing features. They're not known for it. Like, one of the main reasons why people use Windows is, well, it's backwards compatible. You can still run applications from Windows XP and such on Windows 11. They have all these layers there of things that exist from back in the day. Hell, you can possibly even run, 95 and 98 apps in some circumstances. I mean, 16-bit doesn't really work as well, but that's a whole other argument. And in order for Microsoft to fix these issues, they'd essentially have to make a whole new operating system. There's no way around it. They have to, start from scratch here. You're talking about refactoring a lot of the different systems in there. They're going to have to rip away a lot of that AI shit none of us wanted. But the problem is Microsoft can't necessarily do that, because if they do, they will be admitting defeat and that they didn't want nobody wanted those features and they wasted their time. And on top of it, they have money invested so deeply into OpenAI. And in order for them to show that their OpenAI investment was worthwhile, they have to showcase that more users are using AI. And how do you do that? Well, you shove it into every single Microsoft product, even if you don't want it. So that way, they then can show, oh, look at all these people using, ChatGPT models. Isn't this wonderful? We've got billions of people using it on Windows. Because they have no choice. It's built into the system. That's just how it is. And it's no different than with a lot of different other companies. It's a circular money issue, basically. We got DOSBox too. Oh, have you ever gotten a dedicated Apple purpose to swap? Apple person to swap? Yeah, I was one. I was an Apple user. Apple, at one point in time, was a really solid solution. It really was. There used to be a time, back between the Mac G3 to G5 era, pre-Intel, where people would, be like, hey, I want to do gaming, get a Mac. Hey, I want to do art, get a Mac. I want to do music, get a Mac. Oh, I want to do movie development, get a Mac. Mac used to be awesome. It really was an amazing computer back in the day. The problem is Apple lost its way. I remember vividly when I started seeing the cracks on the wall. It was when they started soldering components in. Because Mac used to be relatively cost effective. I know. You're like, wait, Mac was cost effective? That's not even in their vocabulary. So let me explain. You used to be able to get a Mac computer brand new, and then you would, I would do this all the time at Micro Center. You'd buy the Mac with the CPU that you wanted specifically. Then you would go over to the RAM and SSD department and say, I got this MacBook I'm going to have. What's the most amount of memory that I can put in here that's compatible? And what's the fastest hard drive? Because remember, this was spinning disk back in the day. So we used to get SSHDs towards the end, the solid state hybrid disks. And that had like 8 gigabytes of SSD with like 7,200 RPM spinning disk. Because otherwise you get 4,200 RPM from a Mac computer out the box. So you would do that, reinstall the entire OS onto this new disk that you installed, and like my MacBook Pro that I have here, I use as a prop. This is, I think, a Core i5 with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and the hard drive's dead on here, but it was an SSHD. It was a way for you to save over $1,000. Like, I think when I bought this laptop, to get, I think, 500 gigabytes of space in here, and a 16 gigabyte RAM, but 500 gigabytes of an SSHD, so that's 7,200 RPMs with an 8 gigabyte SSD, I think I spent like $1,500 or $1,600. And that Mac is maxed out. What do you think of Apple using their own proprietary ARM arch, which will create mega e-waste? Well, I think they should have gone for RISC-V. I think ARM, while it is a relatively mature platform, is still a relatively old platform. Now, I would have liked to see them invest in RISC-V. This is a RISC-V board over here. This is a Milk 5 Duo board. I showed this off last night. I still haven't played with this yet. But this is RISC-V CPU. Not ARM, not x86, not MIPS. RISC-V. completely different instruction set architecture, and this is an open source ISA. So anyone can go and grab the code, fab their own CPU if they have the capability to do so, and enhance it however they want. Now, these still have some ways to improve performance. What can you run on a RISC-V board? Well, almost all Debian applications have been ported to RISC-V. So you can pretty much run Linux on this and do a bunch of different things. Now, not all applications are ported, but there have been people that have, from what I've told, been able to get GPUs running on this and play games like Quake and Doom. I know that doesn't sound like very high-end, but you got to remember, still a new ISA, and the fact that you can do that is pretty interesting. So, given a few more years, I think this can be a serious competitor. It would have been nice for Apple to have thrown their weight behind this and done more development on this. But even then, Apple... I talked about this the other day. I hate that computer companies, portray themselves as sustainable companies, like trying to be environmentally friendly, because they say they use sustainable parts, but don't encourage right to repair or repairability, or especially modularity for upgradability. That is one thing I will give Framework really good credit for, is you can keep that shell, upgrade the board on it, and still use the board for other projects if you want. Apple has never allowed modularity beyond replacing a disk drive and a RAM drive many years ago. But now, if anything goes wrong on your board on a Mac, first, when you go to buy the system, you have to buy it with the amount of RAM and SSD space and the CPU that you want out the box. If your SSD goes bad, you have to replace the board. If your RAM goes bad, you have to replace the board. If your CPU goes bad, you have to replace the board. Pretty much if anything goes wrong, you have to replace the board. That's not sustainable. That's not sustainable in the least. I believe in order for you to be able to legally declare yourself as a computer company that believes in sustainability, should 100% believe in right to repair, make your devices repairable, and also allow people to repair their own devices without jumping through weird legal loopholes. Apple makes you jump through weird legal loopholes all the time. Now we're unfolding at home on my old screen, MacBook. It has a broken screen, so I make it crunch until the SSD stops working, then recycle it. Fair enough. Thoughts on the comparatively slow development of quantum computers? Well, quantum computers are very slow to develop because you got to understand it's still early stages of a quantum computer. The computer, they basically are reinventing the whole idea of what we know a computer is to operate. We've spent half a century or more with the idea that a CPU, runs on zeros or ones. Quantum computing now can allow you to operate on zeros and ones. So, I think it's going to take a lot more time for things to actually be developed on quantum computers and stuff. Yeah. Is it really that hard for people to realize it's Hanukkah and, there are people that are celebrating it? It has nothing to do with politics. Making $19 as a sole InfoSec analyst at a fintech company. What should I shoot for in El Col? Is that Lower Colorado? $19 is really damn low. Oh, low cost of living. Oh, okay. Let me reread that. What should I shoot for in low cost of living area? So are you talking about, like, geographically a low cost of living area to be in cybersecurity? So that's a tough call if you're talking about low cost of living areas. Things that come to mind, believe it or not, Ohio has a lot of tech jobs. There's a lot of tech companies, like AWS USD's 2 is located out in, what is it, Central Ohio. There's a lot of tech companies that actually are out there. Like Micro Center is actually based out of Ohio too. It shocks a lot of people. It's probably one of the few areas that I know of that's low cost of living in the tech area. But $19 is still a goddamn low for an InfoSec analyst. I'd expect you to make a bit more than that. Dayton's got some nice stuff out there. It's alright, but the tech opportunities are more so in Central Ohio and Cleveland, Ohio, from what I've seen. Dayton's about an hour away, I think, from an hour and a half. So you can make that commute if you want to do it, but it's kind of a schlep, but, yeah. Alright, let's get the next video up. What are you saying in the tech channel? 53 years later, bus standard launched by HP in 1972 gets stable Linux driver. Hold on. Later, launched by HP. You talking about this article? GPIB was used on vintage lab instruments and similar hardware. It was later adopted by C64 and Acorn computer peripherals under the IEEE 488 banner. I've never seen this connector. The 53 years later, so like this is a connector no one's really used, but it will be added into the Linux 6.19 kernel. Oh, they're now declared stable, but it was added into the Linux kernel last year. Interesting. But the question is, what's gonna use that? Weird. Alright, so here was another video that came up in the feed. This was from Jeff Tech. Apparently, he does like some tech documentaries of different companies and all that, and he had a video talking about Linus Tech Tips. Apparently, he got into a tiff with them.
This channel operates out of a garage-turned-studio. It was built by me with my bare hands, and this
I can relate.
Studio got the attention of multi-millionaire and owner of Linus Media Group, Linus Sebastian. He called this channel parasitic. He accused me of lying. He even claimed that I was doing this to enrich myself. Let's look at the receipts and see if I actually got cooked by Linus or if Linus only cooked himself.
That's an interesting image.
Video we made claiming we were resurfacing
You do
ancient
folding at home. I used to.
The video contributed no new information. That comment reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of what this channel even is. We're not a news channel. We're documentarians. When we covered the DMC-12 DeLorean...
That's actually how I found him, the DeLorean documentary.
When we covered the failures of the Nintendo Virtual Boy and Elizabeth Holmes, we weren't looking for a new scoop. We were looking to show the lesson. Linus acts like if his past has an expiration date. He believes that because he has moved on, you are obligated to forget. He is trying to gatekeep history, and he's trying to dictate what topics are allowed to be discussed based on what makes him comfortable. But clearly, he's
Social
wrong.
Stream Ninja managed to just load as a flat pack.
People, as of today,
Yeah, I have it on
didn't watch that
Chromium.
video for breaking news. They watched it because this story isn't over yet, and history doesn't expire just because one of the characters wishes it would. We have covered companies like Apple, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sega. We've discussed the failures of products from trillion-dollar companies.
Taking
We've
this hat
discussed the
off for a
wrongdoings
second,
of people
'cause
like Jeff Bezos,
my ears are killing
Elizabeth
me.
Holmes, John DeLorean.
We'll
and
put it
now,
back on
most
when we play
recently,
Wolfenstein a bit.
Sebastian. Not one of those previous entities tried to complain. Not one of them attacked the credibility of the
Right,
report.
'cause he's a
And that's
documentary
because
channel.
They knew that the levels of success they had risen to would garner some scrutiny.
Is this video new or something from a few weeks ago?
Lots of places have reported
6
about
days
these
ago.
things time and time again. But this week, that changed. Linus Sebastian.
But I've watched this
decided to
guy. He
respond.
makes
But he didn't
tech
do it through a
documentaries.
professional email. He didn't do it through a press release. He chose to do it by arguing in a public Reddit comment section. Linus Sebastian wants to have his cake and eat it.
Hold up. Let me rehear that part because I was talking.
Time and time again. But this week, that changed. Linus Sebastian decided to respond. But he didn't do it through a professional email. He didn't do it through a press release. He chose to do it by arguing in a public Reddit comment section.
Even I know not to argue on Reddit.
And Sebastian wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants to be the top guy, but doesn't want the top guy problems. He ended his comment by wishing this channel good luck, but luck has nothing to do with it. Relevance isn't decided by a multi-millionaire's permission. It is decided by the audience.
Agreed.
140,000.
People didn't click on that video because of any luck. They clicked because the message matters to them. To justify his reaction, the owner of Linus Media Group made a specific factual claim in that thread. He stated that I have no outreach from you in my inbox. Well, here are the receipts. Go to his public.
You didn't even reach out to me. Bro, here are the receipts.
Crucially, it was also CC'd to info@linusmediagroup.com. This was not a friendly direct message that was sent to a personal account. This was a formal business inquiry sent to the corporate help desk of a media company, the same one that any of you may need to contact if you need to reach out to the company.
Yeah.
When the owner says he didn't see it, that's not proof of wrongdoing on the part of this channel. That is an admission of operational failure on the
I have to totally agree with that. If I, let's say I grow my enterprise, okay? Let's say I am fortunate enough to actually have several employees under me where I don't have to manage all the correspondence myself and everything. One thing I would guarantee is that there is an operational flow that high priority things can at least fall into my purview, even if there, say, is another department that would handle certain requests, things like that. But I should ultimately be made aware of many things. Not that you can be aware of every single minutia of things that happen, because as you scale up, you unfortunately can't do that. Like right now, I'm basically doing almost everything myself. I have one person doing the clips for my videos for TikTok and YouTube Shorts, but I have direct insight into the process and oversight as well. If I start removing myself from that, and there's more layers of abstraction between that, there still has to be a chain of command that is interacting and letting me know what each thing is doing with whatever managers or such. So he's right. It is a part of operational failure because you're talking about corporate communications. A company reaches out to you for a comment on the record that is press. This could have been a news organization. This could have been CNN. This could have been, whatever news outlet you want to do. That should have still come and then be aware of. But then again, yeah, we could go on this for a while.
of his company. He's the owner and chief vision officer of LMG, but he's not the CEO. There's an actual entire staff paid to manage communications. He reminds us constantly how many employees he has. By claiming he missed a clear corporate business inquiry, he's admitting that he's bypassing his own executive team to fight battles in Reddit comments. It proves exactly what he admitted when he stepped down as CEO, that he lacks the temperament to run an organization this large. It isn't the first time this has happened, but Linus outlined in a specific way how he wished it would have been handled. When Gamers Nexus, Steve Burke criticized LTT regarding the handling of the Billet Labs prototype, where they mistested it and refused to retest it, and then sold Billet Labs property without their knowledge. Linus's primary defense was
I forgot about that.
He argued that Steve Burke should have contacted him personally before publishing the report.
We have proven over the years, again and again, we welcome constructive criticism, and we go out of our way to maintain open communication channels with our community. Right to respond matters because of the impact that it can have on your accuracy.
He established a public standard. Reach out to me first before you publish any news about me. This channel followed that standard. We sent the written request.
Fair enough.
It to 2 emails and even waited an entire month before publishing the piece.
He didn't even have to wait the full month. I think that's a huge courtesy on his part. You have an entire month and your operations can't make you aware of, hey, this one guy's doing a documentary and he wants to, talk about this. When did that even happen? Well, obviously over a month ago.
Protocol he demanded of his peers. What did we get from it? Not a yes, not a no, not a conversation, only silence followed by insults.
No, Sticky, it's not.
The demand for outreach was never about fairness or accuracy. It was about controlling the narrative. I doubt that if Steve Burke had reached out to them, the result would have been any different.
I agree.
Because of the size of my channel, no one would care. But now they're realizing different. They're trying to kill the messenger. Linus Sebastian, owner of a multi-million-dollar company, LTT, accused this channel of enriching itself by criticizing him. But let's take a look at how he built his own empire. Linus Media Group has generated millions of dollars by criticizing the failures of Apple, NVIDIA, Intel, and UFA. When Apple makes a bad repair policy, Linus hurries up to make a video about it. He gets millions of views from it, plus he runs ads, plus he sells screwdrivers, even sells Trust Me Bro shirts to mock warranty laws.
That is a fair point. He was, he basically rose up through the ranks on criticism. I mean, even when we can take it a step back further, NCIX Tech Tips. He was reviewing and criticizing a lot of the components that he was talking about in those videos. That's originally how I actually found Linus Tech Tips back in the day. It is a fair criticism from Jeff towards Linus about this stuff. And again, this goes back to, if the issue is somebody should have reached out to me, and then somebody reaches out to you, and then nobody lets you know, that's a failure of operations, and then you should be looking internally to your team and your operations to see where the breakdown was.
Can monetize his criticism. He claims that I'm enriching myself. Enriching myself? I'm working out of a garage. Linus Sebastian is a man who publicly bragged about turning down a $100 million buyout offer. When you're sitting on that kind of wealth, accusing a small creator of being greedy isn't valid criticism. It's just out of touch. When Linus does this,
I agree.
He calls it
as a guy that only does this on the side for a little bit of fun.
Which I don't disagree with. But when a smaller creator applies that exact same framework to him from our garage studio here in America, where we document his business failures, exercising our freedom of speech, suddenly it's no longer advocacy, it's parasitic. Linus Sebastian believes he has the exclusive right to monetize criticism. He believes he's...
Do you mind? This is not your stream. The channel is Jeff Tech, Jeff_Tech. I came across him many weeks ago when he had a DeLorean documentary video, and he makes a bunch of tech documentaries, and he covered the prior Linus Tech Tip situation between Gamers Nexus, and this is the fallout that he's talking about from here.
Anyone allowed to get rich by pointing out when a corporation fails. The final layer of irony,
God forbid Steve
regarding
says
this
anything.
parasite
Yeah, I
label,
have a lot of
in recent
respect for
interview, Linus
Steve.
defined
I will say
exactly
that.
what integrity means to him. He boasted about ripping into companies like NVIDIA, stating, "We only want to work with companies that have the integrity to be criticized."
We go out of our way
Yeah,
to make it
that's
clear
Barack Yates.
that when a company is deserving of criticism, that we will not shy away from it. We're not afraid to criticize the hand that feeds us, because at the end of the day, we only want to work with companies that have the integrity to be criticized, that take accountability for the errors that they make.
That take accountability for the errors that they make. Linus demands that NVIDIA and Intel sit quietly and listen when he tears them apart. He calls that integrity. But when the camera is turned around, when a small channel points out his business failures, the demand for integrity disappears. The acceptance of errors is replaced by name-calling. He believes
Knife twist! Knife twist!
he's the sheriff of this YouTube industry.
That image!
Allowed to hold the gun. He wants to be the only judge, yet he refuses to be the defendant. He admits that when a product flops, when the market rejects it, he orders his team to find a way to sell it anyway. Why though? Not because the consumer needs it, but because he has to guarantee a return on an investment for a brand. He explicitly states,
what?
"I take the word partner extremely seriously." He isn't talking about partnering with you, the viewer. He's talking about partnering with corporations to conspire to sell you things you don't need or want, with the goal of enriching himself with your money. You see, his enrichment comes at the cost of the viewer, whereas my enrichment, if there is even any enrichment at all, comes from the cost of simply telling the truth. He isn't team consumer, he's team corporate asset.
That's a good way to put it. That's actually why I like this guy. He's pretty straightforward.
Nor am I a brand. I'm just a critic. And to him, critics are bad for his business. If he wants to talk about parasitic behavior, enriching yourself off of others, we need to look at his record when his own money is on the line. For years, Linus Tech Tips generated massive revenue promoting the browser extension Honey. Eventually, reports surfaced that
Oh God, I forgot about this whole thing. It's coming back to me. That was the extension that was stealing affiliate referrals, and basically Honey was pocketing the money. It was a big scam and everything. And if I recall, Linus was quiet about it until it actually came out, and then, yeah, it was just, yeah.
software was engaging in malicious activity. Specifically, there were allegations of affiliate skimming, a practice that effectively diverts revenue
Skimming, that was the
away
term.
from other hardworking content creators and websites. When Linus discovered this, he had a choice. As the self-proclaimed sheriff of YouTube, he could have done what he always does: make a loud public video warning his audience and protecting his fellow.
What Backstreet Boy era is this hairstyle from? I'm sorry. Oh!
Creators from having their income stolen. But he didn't. He quietly ended the sponsorship and said nothing. When asked why he stayed silent, his defense was purely financial. He claimed that issuing a public warning would have unleashed the internet hate machine, potentially hurting the affiliate revenue of other creators using the tool. But critics, including Right to Repair advocate Louis Rossman, saw it differently. They argued that Linus
Oh, that's right. Lewis and Linus's relationship, if I remember, started to get sour because of this, among other things.
prioritized his own brand safety and conflict avoidance over his ethical duty to inform the public. If Apple or NVIDIA had a hidden flaw to protect revenue, Linus would have uploaded a 20-minute rant calling for their heads. But when he's the one profiting, the consumer advocate suddenly decides that silence is the best policy. He accuses me of trying to enrich myself, and I have no reason to lie. Of course, this is a business. Literally every channel on YouTube is trying to enrich themselves in one way or another. But there is a fundamental difference. He is enriching himself by staying silent while his friends get looted. That sounds like he's a little confused about what an actual...
Wait, what did that say over there? Watched his friends get robbed by Honey. Okay. There's plenty of things to criticize Linus for, but this ain't it. No, there was quite a few things, and this is just another thing. Because... Yeah, the whole honey thing was this big thing, and then he came out after everyone else was talking about it, like, yeah, we noticed that, that's why we stopped, recommending it. But he was definitely more vocal, I remember back in the day. He used to partner with different VPN partners. He did say on the WAN show they considered to keep honey if it was actually helping their viewers, but it was not. So back to the VPN thing. He used to actually partner with a lot of different VPN partners. And there was like Tunnel Bear and a few others I remember. And he made videos calling them out because of the new acquisitions. Who acquired them were kind of shady and said we can no longer recommend them. So he has had precedent of doing that exact thing, where he's partnered with a company, and then that partner starts to have issues, and then he speaks out against it. Who, this guy? Jeff Tech. Jeff_Tech. He makes some funny documentaries I've seen. Like I said, I originally found him from a DeLorean documentary, and then I realized he had a whole bunch of other ones, and I was like, oh, cool.
Parasite is. This pattern of putting profit over protection isn't an isolated incident either. Look at this Trust Me Bro warranty controversy. For a long time, LTT refused to offer a standard written warranty for their expensive products. Instead, they relied on an informal promise they literally called Trust Me Bro. Louis Rossman criticized this heavily, pointing out
forgot about that.
it was a mockery of the very consumer protections laws that Linus uses to bash other companies. A formal warranty is a legal liability. It costs
Tech with a K. Sorry, I should have called that out. My bad.
Linus was protecting his bottom line at the expense of your consumer rights. We do not hate Linus Sebastian, but we will not accept the label of parasite for committing acts of journalism and free speech. The offer to Linus stands. If you claim the video is incorrect and you claim the narrative is unfair, then sit down with me and let's talk. Uncut, unfiltered. The facts are wrong, then prove it live. I have no problem admitting if I was wrong. Do you? Until then, this is just a guy in a garage with a camera, and I'm not going anywhere.
Fucking find a way to sell it. Yeah. No such thing as a bad product, just a bad price.
Ooh. This is a decent video and interesting. Brought back some memories I completely forgot about. Alright, we got a couple more videos we can watch at least until... We'll watch at least this short here. Then we're going to take a bio break. And then we got to get into the Hanukkah tradition of playing Wolfenstein.
Microsoft, this is something you need to stop right now. I've just rebooted my machine. It hasn't even done an update as far as I'm aware, and it's now asking me if I want to spend $84.99 a year. I've already bought Windows. Why am I getting adverts? And the worst thing is, if I click on decline now, it offers me a second one. You are literally interrupting my day's work to feed me this bullshit. And I don't know why it's saying, sorry to see you go. I never fricking subscribed in the first place. At this point, you might as well put a bloody advert on your desktop saying, go download Linux.
That's exactly why I think a lot of people are getting tired of, this is why I'm getting tired of a lot of Microsoft's BS, because it's basically one billboard for all their products to be sold to you, and, wait, is there an ad? God damn it. Yeah. Now, just installed Linux Mint on my laptop and then immediately saw this in my recommended, like, it's fate. Well, welcome to the club. We'll be doing some gaming on Linux in a little bit, too, for the yearly Hanukkah tradition of killing Nazis. But, yeah, okay, now the ads are over. You're back! So, yeah, Microsoft has basically been, it's been frustrating as an experience. The main idea of an operating system, and I think Linus Torvalds said it best. I'm going to paraphrase what he said from a documentary I watched on Linux a while ago. Nobody really uses operating systems. You use applications. An operating system's job is to just launch your application and get out of the way. The problem is Microsoft keeps getting in your way. Like, this is what he's going through. I forget what his TikTok name is.
Microsoft, this is something you need to stop right now. I've just rebooted my machine. It hasn't even done an update as far as I'm aware, and it's now asking me if I want to spend $84.99 a year. I've already bought Windows. Why am I getting adverts?
Yep.
And the worst thing is, if I click on decline now, it offers me a second one.
Oh, you don't want to pay this much? How about this much? Huh? It's like the guy in the trench coat that's like, hey, kid, you want to buy a watch? No. You want to buy, something else? The guy in the trench coat that has, like, all the, like, stolen goods? You want to buy a watch? Oh, no. You want to buy a pocket watch? I got what you need.
You're literally interrupting my day's work to feed me this bullshit. And I don't know why it's saying, sorry to see you go. I never freaking subscribed in the first place.
That's still funny to me.
You might as well put a bloody advert on your desktop saying, go download Linux.
Yeah, it is really annoying where Microsoft is going with a lot of this stuff, because just the hoops I had to jump through. So, as many of you know, I'm going back to school. I needed to get a Windows laptop for some of the proctoring software for the online exams and stuff, right? So I grabbed one of my spare laptops that I had, an old Lenovo IdeaPad with a Core i3, nothing high-end. It was actually one of my dad's old laptops that he gave to me and I salvaged, and it worked perfectly fine. I reinstalled Windows on it. So to get my Windows Enterprise license to work, I had to install Windows Pro, and then you have to make sure it's not connected to the internet to be able to do an offline local account. The hoops you have to jump through just to make the computer the way you want it, because now it's forcing you to make the Microsoft account. And the only reason I can do that is because I have a professional version of Windows that I was installing. If you're using a home edition, you don't have that capability. And you basically have to say, no, I'm going to be using this as an Active Directory computer, and then just make the local account and then never set it up. Microsoft is becoming the Destiny 2 of operating systems. Infinite advertising for their slop. Well, yeah. The amount of crap that I have to do. I literally, on my firewall, my pfSense firewall at the network, have it blocking Microsoft telemetry, and I even have it blocking Bing. Because Microsoft, the back to the point of what I was saying earlier, with Microsoft needing to put ChatGPT inside the computers to showcase the investment into OpenAI, so OpenAI has a better valuation because they then can show that more people are using their products, and that's why Microsoft is doing it and adding all these AI features nobody wants. Well, it's very much in the same vein for Bing. Most Bing lookups are from the lookups in your computer itself. Like when you start searching for something, it's going through Bing. So it's a little bit it's a little bit of BS when they're like, well, yeah, these many people use Bing. Yeah, the majority of them don't even know they're using Bing. They're just looking up something on the start menu. Even the installation is hell. Crashed 3 times for no reason on Ryzen 7 2700X. That's weird. You sure it's not the hardware? Not saying it definitely is. I'm just saying it could be the hardware. But it would not surprise me in the least either. I've seen weird things with Windows for many years. But yeah, Microsoft, I think, is starting to actually feel the heat, as we showed in the earlier video from Valve, because gaming performance is looking better on Linux. It's only going to get better, and in order for them, in order to get better, Microsoft would have to remove a lot of the bloat that they've been adding in over the years, and they can't really justify doing that, because then, yeah, it's going to be a nightmare for them either way. New to home labbing, do you think Pi-hole will help avoid these issues? Pi-hole can help. So I use PF Blocker NG on my pfSense firewall to do all the things Pi-hole does, but also IP level blocking. Pi-hole only does DNS blocking. I actually use the lists from Pi-hole in my firewall with PF Blocker NG, so I'm blocking a lot of the same things. The URL to block them, so Vampire, you know that GitHub I have for the SIM, the pfSense SIM stack? So if you... Hold on, I'll pull this up. Alright, if we go into this project over here, the pfSense SIM stack, this was originally meant to just be the project for the SIM hooking into the pfSense. Well, I also expanded it to be a whole slew of things to optimize configurations. So if you set up PF Blocker NG, there's this DNSBL whitelist over here. These are the only things that I actually whitelist that get blocked by block lists. So it's like I'm pinholing Xbox Live to be allowed, Netflix, and some of these things will work, but it's just to make sure that they don't get blocked. Like, some of my block lists were blocking TikTok, so I did have to add that. I did have to open up some of the YouTube links because some of them were being caught as false positives. So this list, you could literally just copy and paste this and drop it in. I even added a whole bunch of popular banks over there for different people so that you could, you know, have that. But, yeah. So if you use PF Blocker NG combined with this markdown file over here, this will actually walk you through the block list that I'm using to block all that crap. Hightail, because pre-order they allow crypto payments. Oh, nice. Hardware fine, currently rocking Pop OS after power failure wrecked the Windows for some reason, and I've been loving it. Yeah, Pop OS is nice. You running the new 2404? I'm still running 2204 until 2604 comes out in a few months. But, yeah, if you follow this markdown file here, PF Blocker NG optimization, after you install PF Blocker NG development branch, and then combine it with this whitelist, you should have a reasonable experience, because these are commented out over here, but these are ads and trackers and telemetry. These are just references. But if you can see, there's a few things in here. And if I recall, I did clean up my list. Yeah, okay? So I want you to see this. When I said that Bing is blocked on my network, Bing doesn't work on my network. So there is a running joke with Bing, by the way, because there was a compromise a few years ago. Is Bing an IOC, an indicator of compromise? Because someone compromised somebody's computer and they couldn't figure out how to disable the antivirus, and they actually looked up on Bing, on the infected computer, how to disable the antivirus. So ever since there's been this running joke in the cybersecurity community is, that is, Bing, is it an IOC? But, yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna take a quick bio break. Then we gotta shift into the Channukah tradition of playing Wolfenstein and killing Nazis. So, be right back. Give me about 2-3 minutes. I'm gonna let the dogs out too. Who let the dogs out? Who? I'll be right back. You won't be missing anything except the BRB screen. Okay, I am back. Sorry for that long break. Barack is part husky, and it's been snowing. So he likes to take his sweet-ass time outside now. Yeah, I'm talking about you, dickhead. He just heard his name. He's like, "What? You're talking about me? This is my time to shine." Dickhead. Dickhead. Really good ball. But yeah, it's time for us to get the yearly tradition going. Killing Nancy's. So I re-downloaded Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. Wait, was it the new Colossus I wanted? I think it was the New Order. Either way, I can grab that. Won't take that long. Now that I got that upgrade. So ever since I've overhauled the network, it's actually been a huge performance improvement. I did not realize how much inline Suricata was performance you got out of inline versus legacy mode, and then optimizing all the lists and everything. Once I get the new RAM for upgrading the Intel Atom box, I then can move on to the Xeon D, and it should be even more performant to do all of that stuff. And it'll also give me some headroom. That firewall will be the beginning of my 10 gigabit per second network upgrade. And if and when I land a new job next year, that I can get into the senior level and everything, I will definitely be looking at installing some 10 gigabit switches. I'm partially wanting to do that because there's really not much of a justification for me to upgrade to Wi-Fi 7 if Wi-Fi 5 still has plenty of throughput in there, and, you know, what is it, you're pushing 1200 megabits, give or take, if I recall. Well, you can only get 1 gigabit per second, so I want to get 10 gigabit per second uplinks at least. So that means from the switch, from my firewall to the switch, and then between the two switches, 10 gigabit per second. And then those switches will have 2.5 gigabit for most of the ports, 1 gigabit for some others, and maybe a few will have 10 gigabit connections. And then maybe I'll get my NAS connected over 10 gigabit. There's not a lot of stuff that needs 10 gigabit. And then maybe I'll get my main workstation hooked up over 10 gigabit. But that should be it. I'm installing Linux today or tomorrow. Tips, Bazite. Tips, just play around with Linux. I have not really used Bazite, but from my understanding, it's Fedora. Fedora is pretty solid. They do have a rapid release cycle compared to LTSs like Ubuntu, which usually have at least 2 years between new versions of LTS, which is why I generally go with Pop! OS, because they're built on Ubuntu LTS. And I have a little bit of stability between versions there, so I don't have to upgrade as often. But Fedora, by virtue of them, you know, having that rapid release cycle, you do tend to get more features faster. You tinkered with Bazite a bit. You like straight old Fedora more. Okay, so what's your reasoning, Chris, why you liked Fedora, just straight Fedora? I haven't tinkered much with Bazite, so yeah. Doesn't constantly updating get annoying? Not really. So, you have to understand updating your operating system. You will get updates that you can do on Linux every day if you want. But you can update them whenever you want. And updating in Linux isn't the same way as Windows, because when Windows wants to update, it will make you update, and then you have to, you know, shut down your computer and wait for it to do all the updates after, and then your computer can be out of commission for anywhere from a few minutes to even an hour or two from these upgrades. Linux, the way they do upgrades, you have the updates going into Package Manager, and then whenever you want, you can reboot the machine. If it requires a reboot at all, that is. And Linux also has live patching, which Windows just started doing, which allows you to upgrade the kernel in place. Now, you have to enable it on certain distributions and all that. Let me put it this way. Windows users get annoyed with updates. Linux users look forward to them because we get new stuff. Like, I one day updated my Linux kernel, and when I looked into the release notes for it, it was like, oh, we upgraded a bunch of stuff that is relating to Linux gaming. That was the big Linux, I think, 6.14 kernel update. And I was like, ooh, yay! I actually noticed some better performance on gaming and stuff. Updates in Linux don't generally come with bloat like Windows does, whereas a Windows update, you're going to sit back and everyone has this dread with Windows. Oh God, what is this update going to bring? What bloat is it going to bring? What settings is it going to reset? Don't deny it, Windows users. I was one of you, okay? That is the exact thought process of what goes through your mind. But on Linux, I generally don't have that feeling. And very, very seldomly does an update mess something up. Now, the other thing you have to understand is that when we say update in the sense of Linux, when I do an upgrade on my system, it's not just the operating system. I'm updating my Firefox browser, my Thunderbird email, my Steam client, my Discord client, like everything on the system that is managed by the package manager gets updated. Your Office suite, your image editing software, everything. I don't have to go running around saying, oh, now I gotta go grab this new driver and, that, thing or that. It's all in the package manager, and it will handle the updates for me in almost all cases. Now, there are some edge cases where it's like, hey, we're on NVIDIA 572 or 571. We want to go to NVIDIA 580. That is just a simple, for me, sudo apt install NVIDIA-580-open, and then boom. Can you send me a link to buy the Stingray tracker you have? I have a link for it in the YouTube video, actually, that I made for it. You can literally look it up on Amazon, though. It's just an Orbic 400L, but if you go to EFF's GitHub, they have a wiki now with more devices that they've qualified for it. Why Linux? Why make your own OS when you can just use Windows? You don't have to make your own OS. You just install an OS and use it. And nobody can just use Windows. Look at all the hoops people are going through just to be able to install a local account and then not get nagged by Windows for all this other stuff. Like, if you immediately have to tell me, oh, well, install Windows and then run this program to remove all this bloat that's probably going to come back with a future update, and then change all these settings out the box, I'm not going to do that. Because you know what I can do? I literally can go, all right, install Pop OS and install, the programs I need, install Steam, download games. I'm up and running within like 30 minutes to an hour. Drivers and all. Sometimes Windows updates conflict with Sophos and cause issues on PCs. Yes, that happens a lot with a lot of different antiviruses. CrowdStrike goes into reduced functionality mode very often with Windows updates, and you have to reboot the machine to hook back into the kernel. But there are some times where the sensor version conflicts with it and causes issues. So yeah, I totally understand where you're getting at with that. I'm always worried about updates bricking my stuff. Updates don't generally brick Linux machines on most distributions. Now, if you're on Arch, I can't really speak to that. That's a whole other thing where they have custom init scripts and stuff like that. We're not going to go down that path. But most Linux distributions have extremely in-depth testing suites that they go through before they release software updates to the public. So they're validated a lot better than I would say Microsoft validates a lot of their software these days. Microsoft used to have warehouses of machines of every configuration so that they could test for edge cases. They don't do that anymore. Now they have the Windows Insider track where they're expecting you to do the testing, but very few people actually contribute the feedback. When you say Linux is open source, that mean you can view every single line of code? Yeah, pretty much. With the exception of some binary blobs that we use for firmware drivers and stuff like that. That's a whole other issue, though. But yeah, you can go grab the Linux kernel itself, the core of the operating system, from kernel.org. That is where all the Linux development is actually done. So you can actually grab the entire, tarball, browse it if you want. Now, granted, it's hundreds and hundreds of megabytes just the kernel.
I can save money now and then. One could eat. Getting money in the daytime, even count it when I sleep. Wake up to getting bread, bitch. I do this for the streets. ADHD.
Haku_Yuki343 just subscribed.
Thank you for the sub there. And I forgot to have streamer bot up, so my receipt didn't print out. I bring receipts to my chat, okay? Let's see, can I get this connected? There we go. Okay. Now, is he gonna do that? Hold on. No. I want to see if I can get that working again. Okay, that's not that. The receipt printer does work, but I didn't have it on that time. That's on me. Can you do stuff like registry editor on Linux? No, because we don't have a Hive. Do you know what you need to edit anything on Linux, pretty much? A text editor. That's really the only tool you really need to edit almost everything on the operating system. Because it's POSIX compliance. Everything is a file. I'm watching your TikToks for a while and decided to sub here on Twitch. Personally prefer Nano. Yep. Let me see. Chris Unchecked. Very simply, I have a 2-monitor system, one horizontal, one vertical. TLDR, oddly enough, Fedora has had less issues dealing with those screen orientations, mostly from Wake. I'm sure a more experienced person can easily correct it, but Fedora just works. Yeah, I can understand that. I got a vertical monitor over here. Not gonna lie, I'm nervous about installing Linux. It's not my first time, and I don't know why I am, but nonetheless nervous about the whole dealio, and in the back of my head, it's going, Windows 11. Well, it's just a different change of pace, but after you start using it for a while and you get comfortable with it, most people then go, why didn't I do this sooner? I was told by an a software engineer, Linux is good. When I was younger, I didn't believe him. Now I'm a dev, I believe him. Oh yeah, that's generally how it works. Finally made the switch to Catchy OS. It feels so free. I haven't played with Catchy, but I hear good things. But as long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Because as I always tell people, don't focus on, what's the best Linux. Focus on what's the best Linux for me. I'm waiting for Wolfenstein to finish installing over here. We're gonna play the New Order. The reality is that we've got a lot of great choices. Absolutely. And a lot of my games pretty much just plug and play on Linux. The only complaint that some may have is, kernel level anti-cheat, but even on Windows, I wouldn't install those games. They're basically just rootkits with extra steps. Half of what I want to do with my computer works better objectively on Linux, like I'm set on setting up a Docker Jellyfin. Oh yeah, you have a lot more freedom and flexibility to do things on a Linux system than you do a Windows one. Because my workaround when I'm at work to get my Windows computer to do everything that I want it to do is install Windows Subsystem for Linux. So I literally run Linux to get it working. Okay, hold on. Gotta change it over here. Hold on. Gotta change it over here. Why do I have an echo? God damn it, Kick. Okay. The gaming compat has been so far been fantastic with Catchy. Had distro hop for so long, but the Catchy OS Proton variant is pretty much download and play for many of games. I used to have to edit files and directories for Proton. Pop OS has been pretty good for me too. The most I may do is download Proton Glorious Egg Roll, and then force compatibility, and then select a different version. As you can see, I got a few Glorious Egg Roll forks over here. But yeah, it's been pretty great. Actually, we'll get Glorious Egg Roll rolling on that. And then it's time for us to celebrate Channukah the proper way. Space Engineers has always been weird, I suppose. Oh yeah, Space Engineers, I've played that. It definitely was weird. And it's a game that can crash and will crash and has crashed. On Windows and Linux. There are just those games that they're like so heavy they will crash. Wait, does it not like the Proton Glorious Egg Roll that I put in there? Come on. Oh, it was just setting up the background files because I just got it. Okay. We're here for one thing and one thing only. Killing Nazis on Linux. You know what I find weird? This game came out, what, a decade ago? But the graphics are so much better than games that require so much more hardware today. My AIM Thor arrives today. Pretty hyped. That's my powerhouse handheld. Nice. Good tips for setting up drivers for my Linux PC. Kind of worried it won't have my router's drivers. Most drivers just work out of the box. The only driver that I've manually had to install is NVIDIA. Wild how graphics works out with many games. Yeah. It'll be interesting to play this game with a 5070 Ti. Oh, I will be upgrading that this weekend. It looks like my power cables made it into the shipping depot. They should be in my mailbox tomorrow. Yeah, I picked it up a few weeks ago.
In my dream, I smell the barbecue. I hear children. A dog.
Technically, we should have started this last night on the first night of Channukah, but yeah. Guess things have changed. Oh, no, this is how it's been for years. I've been daily driving Linux for like...
None of it for me.
15 years now, give or take?
I'm moved by roaring engines.
In various capacities.
Warriors.
There was a time when Mac was my laptop because Linux on laptops still was kind of iffy. Like, look at the graphics on this. Let's see, can we dial it up to 11? Okay, hold on. Advanced options. Like, look at this. Look how great these graphics are. And I'm on a 3070, and then we have games that are struggling today on a 3070 that look like shit. When did this come out? Chat. When did, Wolfenstein The New Order come out? I want to say, like, 2012? Yeah, this has been out 2014. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chris. It's interesting. I haven't played this for a whole year, but I still remember this part. All right, cargo's away. Yeah, look at this. You don't even need DLSS. But look, the frame rate's still great. We're running on a 3070. This is maxed out settings. That's mine. God damn. Really, dog, you gotta get under my seat now. That's their new jets. I effed up there. Oh, that's right. You're supposed to fail. This is one of those games where you're supposed to, like, fight until you fail. Like that one Halo.
I have a war to win.
You're still breathing, you chummy bastard. You're tough as they come, you know. Jesus Christ. Mayday! Vulture 1, come in, Vulture 1. Red pack 3, Glasgow. Use it. Keep playing out your rats, catchy. Hey, Condor 9, this is Vulture 1. You're crowding me. He's off. Negative, Vulture 1.
Are we supposed to jump out the door?
You need to shuffle out of formation, and you need to make room, Ferguson. Affirmative, Randall. Glasgow, retract the radar. Pull the handle up there by those flashing lights. Much obliged, Captain.
I still can't believe as old as this game is how good it looks.
I see solution coming off your rudders. You freeze aileron.
Why do we need video games with like 16 gigs of RAM now that look just marginally better?
Condor 9, come in, Condor 9. That's a troop transport. Condor 9, come in, Condor 9. This is Condor 9.
Feel the same way about games like BioShock. Oh, BioShock! Love that game. We should play that again sometime. I love BioShock. The whole series was a great game. Some were better than others. The original was definitely great.
Keep it level, just pull it towards your chest.
But once I get this 5070 Ti installed, we'll definitely be doing more gaming on Linux nights. I do definitely want to get back into Borderlands 4. And how, BOTW. What's BOTW?
Ready by the side door. You are getting visitors.
Breath of the Wild. Oh. I haven't played that one. Oh, Breath of the Wild on the Switch. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't really played Nintendo games in years. I loved how the story was in this game. They just don't make games with good stories anymore. It's very seldom, very few and far between. Zelda games, the open world and massive release on the Switch, well coded, I guess. Yeah.
What's the score, Cat?
Do or die, son. Same as always.
Hoorah, sir.
Co-pilot dead, shot to the leg and I'm bleeding out. 71 souls in the hold. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
At least we got a health pack.
Oh, thank God you're here! Oh,
Get
God!
off your ass. Vultures 1, 3, 4, 8, 9 and down. It's a right place that we'll have to abort. Blazkowicz, get this boy off the floor. It's a negative, Condor 9. Maintain your course.
I think we just slap him. Yeah.
Listen to me first.
Thank you, sir!
If this mission fails, we...
If a game ever tops RDR2's story, I'll be shocked. That story just got me. Oh yeah, it was a great game. I never got to finish that. We'll definitely put that in the category of games that we're going to be playing through.
If you don't stop this head down, Fergus, that window is closed forever. We will lose this war. Aye, God, I hear you. Look, I've got to go. That's how compound's coming.
Has Doom Guy been British this whole time? No. Although Blazkowicz is, I think originally Polish, but he's American. But then generations down, his, what is it, like, Wolfenstein guy is the great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather of Doom Guy, supposedly.
Shit. Nazi war machine is advancing at an astonishing rate.
So, your title was...
Outclassed and outgunned. No one knows why.
The newest Digimon game was awesome. You know, I haven't really touched Digimon in years.
See an old friend and settle a score. Turn this thing around.
Mayday, Mayday. Anyone out there?
Fergus, what's your status?
I think I have a 2-week Minecraft phase. I haven't played Minecraft in a bit. Eventually I'll make a server for it. It starts super slow in the first chapter. Oh yeah, I played Red Dead Redemption 2, but I got sidetracked. So I probably want to finish up Borderlands 4 first, then we'll get into it. But I just couldn't play Borderlands 4 with the 3070 because it was just like unbearable stutters and stuff. I can't believe I had to get a 5070 Ti for a game that doesn't have as complex graphics as this.
Regular small arms sure don't worth a bug at all. Perhaps you can swim here. Just keep your head down below the...
Hold on. I just noticed something with the graphics. Wait, do I not have anti-alias settings? Oh, okay. Oh well.
Should be all right.
Good plan, Fergus. Coming to you.
Yeah, some games really do test the V. But what blows my mind is like Borderlands 4 is a cel-shaded game. It should not. God damn it. I always forget that combo. Like, Borderlands was famously this game that you didn't need a lot of hardware for. Then they went to the Unreal Engine 5, and they didn't optimize shit. But yeah, my 3070's been a good GPU, but we will probably be... I'm going to keep that 3070, but what I'm going to do is use it for my experiments for an LLM bot that's going to handle the moderation on top of the regex bots that I have, like Stream Elements and all that for moderation. But But yeah, there's I just don't know why they haven't made a new Wolfenstein game. I would love a new Wolfenstein game. They've made tons of Doom games. You can never get enough games killing Nazis. What type of hat is that? Oh, that's my menorah hat.
Calm down, you wee son.
All right, listen up.
That'll be more than enough. There are some really great small models anymore. Yeah, I've been using Gemma 3. Even the 4B model on the 3050 I have works great. So the 3070 should have double the inference speed. It's already wicked fast on a 3050. My 5060 Ti is handling the Gemma 3 12B. Wait, how do I... Oh, there we go.
Job, Glasgow. We'll need a respite. Have enough trouble with that walking Nazi war machine. Bloody stomper. Now, try to find an entrance to the cliffside bunker. There are 2 cannons up there I need you to eliminate. I'm taking a unit to hold the breach towards the compound. Alright, listen up, people. Captain Blazkowicz has seen fit to clear us a path. We're moving out, and you will show him the courtesy of not getting yourself neither shot nor killed by the stumper. Understood?
Hold on, where are we? Oh, yeah. I love that I have that sound still. Pretty darn casual at the LLM scene. Yeah, Quen is alright. You should really try the Gemma 3 that Google came out with. It's surprisingly very great. I knew I left some armor around there. BJ Blazkowicz from the Wolfenstein series is the grandfather Commander Keen, who's the father of Doom Guy. Yep, see, I said that. Or something close to it. I should not be reading chat in the middle of killer Nazis. What'd you think of an Intel Xeon W 64 gig of RAM PCS PP 520 for 287? That should be a pretty good build. What are you planning to do with it? Because I got myself a little Xeon D box with a, it's the Xeon D 1518. Nothing major, but a little power efficient box to upgrade my firewall. And Gemma 3 14B model, mostly for Q&A and some creative writing. Haven't dabbled with some of the stuff you're getting into. Gemma might shine over Quen for those uses. Well, that's where I'm going to be playing with it. So if you go into my GitHub, you'll see that I have this project called Franken LLM, and it's literally so that you can run multiple GPUs that are mismatched on the same system and dedicate them to, God damn it, dedicate them to different models, and then also program them to warm up. I would replace my current PC, so video games and editing. I'd have to put my own GPU, hard drives, and OS, but otherwise should be an upgrade. Yeah, double check that CPU, the Intel Xeon W2135 from the Intel Arc. That'll tell you when it was manufactured. Because the problem is Intel Xeons are not very straightforwarding with the series numbering. Yeah, I know, TikTok chat is messed up. Just built a new PC, 64 gig, DDR5 6000. Yeah, but how much money did you spend on that? In this economy? I'll eventually upgrade to the 9950X3D, but I can't justify it with the RAM prices the way they are. So I'm going to keep my 5950X and then just repaste it with my 5070 Ti. 5500, see, I wouldn't spend that much on my workstation, at least not with everything else I have going on. Did I go backwards? I think I went backwards. Somehow I accidentally went backwards. Always forget about that damn dog. These RAM prices are something else. Yeah, it should still be a good CPU for you. I mean, for 280 bucks, it should be fine. Throw a decent GPU in it. It's not a forever rig, but it'll last you a couple years. I think I spent $3K on my workstation. That was in the middle of COVID. Yeah, I spent about $3K probably for mine, give or take. With the GPU being probably the biggest chunk. See, that's another thing we don't have in games today. The lean out mechanic. We don't seem to do that much anymore. Reviews, all seemingly positive. Okay. I mean, it should be good because I know you've been struggling with your machine. What is it, a quad core? Oct core? Quad core? It should be still fine. find it funny how he's like turning. I find the dude, and then he's like turning towards me, just stabbing him. Stuff I try and do, surprise doesn't explode. Yeah. True. I think once you get a GPU, that'll actually improve your ability to edit videos. You don't even need that high end of a GPU. Like, even a simple 5050 would probably be more than enough for a lot of the stuff you do and get some decent gaming. 5060 maybe. But you'll want more VRAM if anything. HDD prices have been going up recently too. 8 terabyte HDD was like 150. Well, yeah, the entire supply chain is constrained, and if you're talking about like straight up NVMEs and all that, it's because they're using a lot of the same DRAM manufacturers. Don't be such a sauerkraut. How the hell did you miss me? I didn't even know you were there. Micron stopping Crucial hurt my soul a bit. Yeah, it did for me too. Because Crucial was the brand that I always used to default go to. Oh, thank you. You just conveniently left the pipe bomb for me.
Glasgow, those two cannons are perched on the upper levels of the cliffside bunker. You have to put them out of commission. We have people in the air and those cannons are...
Don't mind if I do. P520 is just a Lenovo ThinkStation. Oh, okay. Sounded familiar. I'm gonna be running LLMs, which is why I opted for the 5090. Well, I want a 5090 as well, but the reality is, if I got a 5090, I would not run it locally on my machine. I would run it in a separate machine. 5070 Ti is a sweet spot for my gaming. Meat grinder. It's not kosher, but it's tenderized. Surprised I still remember that trick. Do we have any more armor? Yeah, I knew there was going to be more armor around here. Hey, I forgot. We can break the crates and get stuff inside them often. You can tell how long it's been for me to play this game. But yeah, the 5060 Ti I think was a good sweet spot basic card for me to do LLM stuff because it's got 16 gigabytes of VRAM. I just can't justify the price of a 5090 for my projects because it's like what, over $1,000 over MSRP or some crazy number. It's just not good. And in all honesty, I don't know why I just did that. In all honesty, if I had the money, I would probably end up spending it on a Quadro with equivalent VRAM. Or possibly even more. If I had the money, I'd probably drop it on an NVIDIA DGX, Spark DGX.
We made it past the stop it. Getting there to the cliff wall directly below Death's Head's compound. Gonna take a lot of fucking rope to climb up there.
If I had, like, what is it, $4,000 for the NVIDIA DGX Spark, that's probably what I would use, because honestly, you're kind of most of the way there with the 5090's price, and you'd have 4 times the amount of VRAM. With 16, you can do 3B models. I can run 16, I've been running 12B models on mine. You can do even more, because with Gemma 3 12B, I think I'm only using like 9 gigabytes of VRAM. Now, there is a way to run more, but you basically have to share system memory, and it's kind of slow because it goes through the PCI Express bus.
Circumcision confirmed. Final test?
I forgot I had that sound. I hit the wrong button. Alright, we'll put that there, and then get on the big boom boom.
Hey, that's very good, Captain, but there's one more cannon further up still firing at our bird. We started climbing the cliff wall below the castle. Hurry up and meet us at the top.
Oh, yeah. I could have sworn there were supposed to be more guys coming. Oh, well. I was right! There are more guys coming! Oh yeah, I forgot. There's like some code that happens over here. I can't remember what it was. I used to play this game so much, if you can't tell. Any more? RX 550 I have does well, but there's been times where it crashes and it's just not fun, but the end goal is destruction. I'm not familiar with the RX 550 too much. Once upon a time, I used to actually know computer parts very well. Then I got more into the professional side of cybersecurity. And God, Come on, buddy. Pop that head up. Oh, you were there. I forgot you can switch semi-auto with C. Just depends on the quantization. Some people try to squeeze a bit too much out of a model when they better off with a smaller model with better quantization. Well, and certain models are better than others, and others people don't know that you can actually use an embedded LLM to index documents and stuff. So imagine, if you would, for a second, you can get the entire Wikipedia archive, which is only about 60 gigabytes. You can download it. They do have it open. It's about like 2.5 petabytes for all the media. Anyway, you can take an embedded LLM, have it actually run through all these stuff on a one-time pass to index everything, and then that'll take about like 30 hours or so, I think it was when I looked it up. And then you can actually attach that to any LLM. To be able to use as a resource locally. So you could do that with just about any information you really wanted. It actually caught a grenade. I forgot about that. Pretty much. It's a German dinosaur. What's up, Lord Veterinary? What are you training on? I haven't been doing too much training right now, but you can, you know, just run an embedded LLM and stuff to go through a bunch of different stuff. What I am going to be training it on, though, eventually, is I'm going to be feeding it repositories of hate speech. So it can better be able to qualify what is content it should moderate when I hook it into Twitch and stuff. So there'll be an LLM bot that'll analyze everything and then have a human in the loop so that my moderators and I can approve or mark as a false positive different comments, and if it's a false positive, I want to have part of the cycle for it to be trained into its data of this is a false positive. Making my own LLM, running a 5060 Ti OC, 16 gigabyte GPU and 64 gigs of RAM, using OpenWeb UI for various stuff, just to explore having a private LLM. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. So if you go to my GitHub, same username everywhere, there's a project I have called Franken LLM. I use that to run my 5060 Ti and my 3050 with two different LLMs with OpenWeb UI inside a Docker, set up the whole thing too. Petabytes for what? Oh, that's for if you got the entire Wikimedia repository. You got a 3060 12 gigabyte plus 6 gigabyte. Yeah, I got a 3070 8 gigabyte in here. And I got a 5070 Ti I'll be installing in here. This 3070 is going to be in another LLM box where I'm going to start using that for the LLM moderation. Yeah, check out my GitHub. I got a lot of different projects I'm working on. I'm working on a pfSense log forwarder for Eve JSON Suricata logs that can go into a log stash in OpenSearch. That then I have a Grafana dashboard built on top of it to make it very clean and very visible. Olama seems to be able to offload some of the weights of the VRAM to the 1060. Yeah, I'm using Olama to operate the GPUs. They just don't make game mechanics like this anymore. Like, look how great the quality is. We got some great story. Ooh.
Everybody okay? What's your status? Crowd gate. Still clap. So you are fucking able to persist through something like that? I do not know. Well done. We're okay down here.
The boss is just massacring my family, no need to worry.
Almost there, sir. Just keep. I'm sorry, sirs. I didn't see him coming. That's up to you now, Blazkowicz. Get to the control room and open the gate.
Another kid you murdered, General. Captain, one of us is gonna die today.
Time to get into Death's Head compound.
Great work, Blazko. The door's coming up. We're going inside.
You know, this game was so far ahead of its time, I think. I saw you trying to throw that grenade. And that's how you make some sauerkraut. German hellhounds. Nowadays we call them... How long do you think till we hit the petabyte drive? Oh, it's gonna be a while. We're still in, you know, the terabyte territory. It'll probably be towards the end of my life, probably. Oh, yeah. That was definitely...
Circumcision confirmed. Final test?
Your measurement method, femboy thighs. Alright, we got some body armor over here. Ooh. What do we have over here? I didn't even know that was a thing. Hey, thank you for the follow, Haku.
Haku_Yuki343 is now chilling in the lab. Bengali_Antics is now chilling in the lab.
Hey, thank you for the follow, Bengali. Same one that was over on the TikTok side, I take it? Come on! Step right up, step right up.
Kick ass. I can save money now and everyone can eat. Getting money in the daytime, even counting when I sleep. Wake up to getting bread, bitch. I do this for the streets. ADHD.
Anonymous just gifted subs to 1 penguins.
Hey, thank you for the gifted sub there. Thank you, buddy. I got the receipt printer working after the last one. Pretty CC, thank you for the sub. Oh, no, Pretty CC got the sub. Anonymous. Oh, it's an anonymous gift. Oh, okay. I was like, confused for a second. I was so confused. Okay, where is this damn officer? Ha! One shot, one kill. Alright, fine, I'll drink. Cue the Oprah meme, everyone gets a shell to the head. This lead is rated E for everyone. It's kind of funny how we can just go eat dog food. Dog food gives you health. Alright. Wait. Okay, we gotta go down. Bedtime soon approaching. Yeah. I still got about 50 minutes or so.
Glasgow, we're pinned down in the courtyard. Quiet, you're empty, you dust cube. Reload for fuck's sake. Yes, sir. Oh, we'll be having a nice nap and a cup of tea till you get here, Glasgow. Find us out.
God damn it, my ear's itchy. Ugh. For me, which means I'll have to get up to turn off my lights. Yeah, I know that problem. Yeah. Come on.
Nazi killing there, sir. Good work, Captain. Right, everybody head for the crashed aircraft. Blazkowicz,
You guys take shekels? Just got back from a trip to Israel. All I got is a fistful of shekels.
I hit the wrong button, but I'll take it. Iron helps us play.
Troop transport. More dead kids. Seen this too many times.
Ooh, that's a good... That's a nasty way to go.
Can't move this beam from our position. We're trapped up here, Blazkowicz. See if you can remove this beam from your possession.
Sir, maybe you can use this to pry it loose.
Come on, lads.
Yes, sir.
You believe in
I have 64 ounces of my food and quarter gallons of water. Tragic times we live in.
Go to church every Sunday?
Yeah, what, you ain't got churches in England? You ain't got no priests there?
Yeah. Well, the Nazis sort of bombing them at the moment, so it's a bit of a problem.
Edward, Blondie, get up!
I feel like they just put these moments in so that way they make sure you don't bring the big gun with you.
Come along, Blazkowicz!
Oh, lovely drop.
I've got you.
I like my PCs thick so they take up a good bit of space. Yeah, I like thick cases as well because I like my airflow. Can you host a game server in Fedora? You can, but I don't know if I would recommend it. Generally you want a headless distribution, which is one without a GUI. Generally people host them in Ubuntu or Debian. CentOS or what is it, Alma or Rocky Linux. So you can do it, but there's really no reason to have a game server with a graphical user interface. You're just wasting resources.
Room size incinerator.
Don't we need to find the key?
Find the key! Blazko, save broken feet over there!
bastard! What's all this then?
Oh, the super soldiers.
Everybody still breathing?
Affirmative. The incinerators are off.
Any way to get that door open? I rather fancy leaving the monster up.
It won't open from this side.
Oh, I think that's where Death's Head
I can hear someone out there.
pops up.
Coming.
We call those politicians.
Captain Blazkowicz, sir, come listen to this.
I got Hogwarts Legacy for free from Epic. I'm gonna kill you. Oh yeah, that's right. This is where the walls close in.
What are you people doing in there?
Imagine being in this room on shrooms. No, I would not want to be in this room on shrooms.
I lost count.
So I've never actually played Hogwarts Legacy because I know there was like all that controversy around it. I kind of want to play it, but I didn't want to get, you know, people harassing me about my game choice. It was so annoying.
I like you, such a resilient specimen. With you, I could do great things.
Why is the wall trying to kiss me? Oh yeah, we gotta choose.
I like the eyes on this one. Do you forget Totem? I like yours.
Not this one. Somebody broke it already.
I normally have saved Ferguson, but this time I think I'll save Wyatt.
Help me make a choice. In your opinion, which one of these two varieties would best support my research? I have inadequate room for samples. Should you decline my opinion, I shall have to put a scalpel to both of them and we'll be here all day. I'll make matters simple. All you need to do is look to the one you would have me dissect. Really, this one. I would have elected the other, but I will defer to your preference, Captain Blazkowicz.
It's okay, Blazko. It's a war. People die. My time's up is up.
General Death's Head.
Hmm.
Teaching me a lesson.
The game is rightfully maligned. It's a shameless cash grab. Which game?
I've never seen true cruelty. Until now. Count to 4. Inhale. Count to 4. Exhale.
Which game is a shameless crash grab, Wandering Pickle? Just curious what you meant by that. Because, I mean, Wolfenstein definitely was a great remaster of a classic. Oh, they're talking about Hogwarts. Oh, yeah. Well, everything Harry Potter related is basically just a cash grab at this point. Because, like, they've made their money. Now they just want to suck the blood out of the IP. Just like they did with,
I have ideas. Follow my lead.
just like they did with, Star Wars. They have messed up that lore so bad.
Oh no! Oh god! Damn it, get off him. Sir, we have to disable these nozzles for the incinerator. Grab the pipe and help me smash them shut.
Help me,
We gotta get this window open! Come here! I'll help you with your handcuffs! Take the lock to the window!
And then he goes to a coma. Rolling in her politics aren't helping matters. Oh yeah, that too. It's such a shame because, like, she created this, like, whole child world and everything, and then, like, had to shit on it. And then she keeps making matters worse as well. Yeah, whatever happened to games like this where, you know, you have this long intro and then it's like, yeah, now we're gonna get, like, to actually be like, okay, so that was just, like, the prologue, and then you get the actual game. Back when Bethesda made great games. I'm really worried about the new Elder Scrolls game, Elder Scrolls 6. Like, is it gonna actually have a proper story? Because I feel like it's been declining since Elder Scrolls 3. I mean, no, Elder Scrolls 3 was great. Elder Scrolls 4 was pretty good too. Elder Scrolls 5 kind of felt like, in terms of lore, they were phoning it home with a lot of the original lore set up through 1, 2, and 3. But 3 was so deep into lore.
W takim razie trafi do zakładu psychiatrycznego. Nic nie możemy zrobić. Mózg jest
Sure about Minecraft too? God damn it. Why are they making another Minecraft? What's wrong with the first one? What Linux distribution am I using? I'm using Pop! OS Linux. I'm on Pop! OS 2204. I'll upgrade when 2604 comes out.
Obudził się. Zaufaj mi, mamo. Po prostu twoja córka ma tajemniczą moc.
Twoja córka, ja tam przecież niewiele nie napracowałem.
Tato!
Haben Sie noch Fragen? Zeichnen Sie!
Can you imagine being trapped in your body? Just watching the world go by?
Wkrótce to wszystko się skończy. Zostawię cię teraz przy oknie. W świetle.
sensation trapped in my body.
Oh yeah, that's what he was saying.
I'm losing time. Sometimes the seasons change in the blink of an eye. I'm having trouble with my thoughts. They dissipate like a scent on the wind. But it's getting better. Here's what I know. I'm in Poland. A hospital. No, an insane asylum. She's the head nurse. That's her father. Shrink. And her mother. Some type of pharmacist.
Hey, Baron.
Run the place, I reckon. Sometimes Christmas. Sometimes birthdays. And sometimes Nazis come.
Remember the Cambridge Analytica scandal, which directly targeted disinformed and misled voters? Yeah, what about it?
The shrink raises hell.
Can you play Fortnite on it?
No choice.
I've never played Fortnite even when I was on Windows, and apparently it uses the kernel level anti-cheat, so no.
I'm alive because
I play thousands of other games that are just working fine.
Because of her.
And I don't like games that have kernel level anti-cheat even on Windows.
She takes care of everyone.
I like the documentary about it. Oh, there was a documentary about it? I lived it.
I know, but
kind of, sort of.
Hasn't happened.
Wir schließen diese Einrichtung. Ihre Dienste werden nicht länger benötigt. Na, kein Grund, rührselig zu werden, Doktor. Sie haben zufriedenstellende Arbeit geleistet.
Agreed on the kernel level anti-cheat. It's unnecessary. Absolutely. Are school lunches still horseshit? Absolutely.
Was hier vorgeht, die haben einen Offizier bei der Befehlsausführung
Unser Befehl lautet nicht, die Betreuer zu töten.
Was will der hier? Keine Ahnung. Bring sie in den Keller. Soll der
Komm
entscheiden?
auf, komm auf. Leg dich gefälligst, Waffe.
Arschlöcher!
Nazi scum.
That nurse kind of cute, yeah. He gonna tap that.
Where'd they take you? Legs are like jelly. Fingers feel numb. Mother of all headaches.
Okay, come on. Ah, there you are.
Nazis shooting folks who can't defend themselves.
Alright, we gotta do an ammo sweep. They frickin' just like annihilated this hospital.
I've been here before.
Wait, I got shotgun ammo? Oh yeah, we're gonna pick up a shotgun soon. Tap that PT card. So I just got my Stingray Hunter in, same as, do I have to have Linux to run the program? You don't have to, it just makes it easier. If you go to the GitHub that EFF has for the Ray Hunter, they'll walk you through it. There is some extra steps you'll have to do on the Windows side of things. But on Linux, it'll be easier. Mac, it's able to be done pretty well. On Windows, you have to set up a few things first. How did I know you were going to come out that way? Peekaboo! I shoot you!
This is the exit. Motorized lock. Where does it open?
Come on. Getting low on ammo here. That'll do. When do we get the tactical shotgun? Oh, right, we're already outside. Oh yeah, that was definitely...
Circumcision confirmed.
That was the nut shot.
Final test.
Oh, god damn it. Forgot about that bouncing Betty motherfucker. Hey, another treasure. What is with the bot and messing with you? I love that she just wakes up and it's like, I gotta take over this car driving. I think the bot wants me to kiss its fudge factory. I'm still impressed by how good the graphics are in this game, knowing it came out over a decade ago.
Jesteś żołnierzem? Umiesz walczyć? Kim jesteś?
Jestem William J. Blaskowicz, Ranger, Army, USA. I'm sorry, my Polish isn't very good. Are you fit to drive?
Where to?
Wherever.
See you later, it's just Steph. Thanks for hanging out. I should have some new videos coming your way soon, too. The sea is silent in Channukah. Get drunk in Channukah.
And they grieve for their dead. Such raw sorrow. Can't partake. Mine would flood oceans. It would drown me.
This game had such a great story.
It's 1960.
1960.
Yes. You've stayed with us for 14 years. It's 1960.
I have to find a way to contact the U.S. military. I gotta find my unit, let them know I'm alive and ready for duty.
There's no more war.
It's over. No more military. No.
The war ain't over. Look at all these Nazis walking around.
They won.
It's over. The Nazis rule the world now. They are everywhere. Everywhere.
What about the U.S.?
The USA, they, what's the word? Poddać się.
Surrender.
He surrendered.
Because of Boo!
Atom bomb.
They surrendered 12 years ago when Nazi atom bombed their country.
Yes.
Well, then I'll find the resistance. I'll find them and I'll help them fight.
Oh, no. More resistance. Everyone is captured. If they leave, the Nazis have them. And who can say where they keep them?
I am a trained and experienced field coordinator working on behalf of Generalstraße. Just and fair when dealing with people like you. Do you realize who I am? It would serve you well if you stop what you are doing and release. Understand, you damned lunatic.
bist ein gottverdammter Irrenanstaltsinsasse!
I forgot he gets up.
Let me tell you how this is gonna work. I'm gonna ask you one question. You are
I
gonna
think the end of the song will need to be the Adam Sandler song part 1, then part 2 at the end of the 8 Crazy Nights. Yeah. Here comes Channukah. Don't you wanna so much funaka? It's time for Channukah.
I'm sure. I don't know what you're talking about. There is no resistance.
Zur Hölle mit dir und deinem verdammten Widerstand! Okay, I'll tell you! Damn it!
Look how good the graphics are in his face and everything.
Resistance fighters, where are they?
Berlin, Eisenwald, Prison.
This is 2014.
Checkpoints everywhere. Looking for you, looking for you on the nurse. And soon they will find this place. And then you will be on your knees!
I wish they would have let us see him cut him up, you know?
Jesteś przystojny chłop, panie Błaskowicz. Nie taki przystojny jak ja, ale nieźle, nieźle. Pilnuj jej. Rozumiemy się? Albo ja cię znajdę i zrobię ci krzywdę.
Rozumiem.
Dobrze. Dobrze. Więc wybieramy się do Berlina.
We ask for your mercy, Lord, as we make to journey across dark waters. Grant us sound feet and silent breath. Refuge from the storm.
Ihre Papiere.
And safe passage amidst hungry wolves.
Lost his head there for a second, huh?
The road is not safe. You kill the Nazis. Here, I stay with Carl. If somebody. We wait for you here. Huh? Kill everyone.
Alright. I think that's a great point for us to stop for the night. I may be back on stream tomorrow, but for sure, Wednesday is the next stream night that we have planned. It's a great hanging out with all of you. Make sure, if you haven't already, follow me on all of my socials. The links are in bio. I'm on YouTube, Kick, Twitch, TikTok, Blue Sky, Mastodon, and of course, we have my Discord and my Matrix server. Tons of us professionals and tinkerers and hobbyists and all of that on there. All of my alerts, of course, go out from all of my own bots to everything. But thank you all for following me. I have some YouTube videos planned to be coming out in the near future. I gotta just record them. The script's already written. There's more stuff coming. But we're going to be continuing on the Wolfenstein Channukah tradition that we have every year next stream. And we'll, get through that. And then, this weekend I should have my 5070 Ti installed, and then we'll get back to regular gaming on Linux with Borderlands and stuff while we do review on stream and everything. But thank you all for joining me. As I said, links are in bio for all of my socials. Join the Discord, join the Matrix, and I will see you all next time. As always, stay safe, I love you all, and happy hacking. Stick around for the raid if you're on Twitch, by the way.